you are saying 4B. It's not 4B. We're finished. Yeah, Timothy is right. Maybe you check your notes, Haika. So let's go to May 2017. May 2017. Read question 1 on your own. Read question 1A of May 2017. Okay. So if you have read the question, you have then, so we are dealing with the paper of May 2017. That is the paper we're dealing with, and starting off is question 1. Now that question 1A is on multi-stage decision making. And in this multi-stage decision making, we are told to come up with a decision tree. So if you come up with a sketch, you can clearly see what is happening here is that we are deciding on whether to advertise or not to advertise. And the weather is either good or poor. And whatever the case is, if you advertise, you stimulate demand or you don't stimulate demand. So that tells you we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 possibilities. There are 6 possibilities. Let's come up with the tree. So here we have the payoff. Shillings in thousands. Shillings in thousands. Two. So that is how the decision tree will look like. The decision tree. So here we are debating on whether to have the advert or no advert. No advert. The weather is either good or poor. The weather is good or poor. Now, when you advertise, you can be able to increase demand. You can be able to increase. And here we say not increase. No increase. You are either able to increase demand or there is no increase. So increase or no increase. Now, as you can see from bullet 1, the probability that the weather is poor is 0.7. 0.7. So being good is 0.3. So 0.7 and 0.3. And then if the weather is poor, there is a possibility of selling 5,000 tickets. So here you are selling 5,000 tickets when the weather is poor. And that is what will happen if you have advertised and there is no increase. You still sell the 5,000 tickets. You still sell the 5,000 tickets. Now, if the weather is good and you have not advertised, you can sell 10,000 tickets. So there is 10,000 tickets. So again, even if you advertise and the weather is good and there is no increase, it means you sell the 10,000 tickets. You sell the 10,000 tickets. But we are told that if you did the advert, there is, and the weather is poor, there is 60% chance that you will stimulate to 7,000. So this one, you will increase to 7,000 and the probability is 0.6. So you are increasing to 7,000 from this 5,000. From this 5,000. But if you advertise and the weather is good, there is a 25% chance that you stimulate to 13,000. So from these 10, you go to 13,000, and the probability of that happening is 0.25. Is 0.25. So this one not happening is 0.75. Not happening is 0.75. So where we are selling 5,000, here the payoff is minus 20,000. Minus 20,000. Then where you have 7,000, the payoff is that 5,000. This is that 5,000. And where you have 10,000, it is 90,000. 90,000. And then 13,000 is 150,000. 150,000. So get to that point, and when you are there, let me know you have finished. Type the word finish. There's Haika, Finch, Timothy. Regina. Okay, finished. So the next thing now, the next thing is to work out we have the node here. We have the expected monetary value. So for node 1, and we were told the advert had a cost of 15 million. So kuja hapa wadike 15,000 hivyo in brackets. 15,000 brackets that way. So sasa node 1 will be 150,000 multiplied by 0.25 plus 90,000 multiplied by 0.75. So give me that answer. Give me the answer for that. Yes, Timothy says 105 divided 105,000. So we have 105,000. Let us go to number 2 and do the same thing. It will be 35,000 multiplied by 0.6 plus minus 20,000 multiplied by 0.4. Multiplied by 0.4. The answer? 13,000. So then we go to number 3. Number 3, it will be 0.3 times what we got there in number 1, which is 105,000 plus 0.7 times what we got in number 2, which is 13,000. Then you minus this cost of 15,000. You minus the cost of 15,000. Send me the answer. Yes, Eva says 25,600. 5,600. Then we go to number 4. Number 4, it will be 0.3 times 90,000 plus 0.7 times minus 20,000. Give me the answer to that. Aika, you are saying is 13,000. Aika says 13,000. So we go to number 5. Number 5 is a case of selection. So it is the higher EMV. The higher EMV at nodes 3 and 4. Nodes 3 and 4, and that is 25,600. Na hiyo imechukuliwa kwa number 3, so unakimbia hapa, you mark this one that way. And based on that now, based on that, you advise these guys. You advise them what should be done. So what should be done is they should advertise. Make an advert. Yeah, make an advert, because that is the one in the higher EMV. That is all the question that the question wanted. But in case they asked you to advise on value of information, and remember, value of information is the maximum amount to pay. It's the maximum amount of money you should pay. When you're dealing with a decision tree, the value of information is the difference between the highest EMV, that is 25,600, and the second highest. So this, for us to pick this one, we were comparing 3 and 4. So the next one is the 13,000. is 13,000. So that is how direct it is to compute the value of information. To compute the value of information. So finish up that and quickly read on your own part B. Part B, as I have something here. Read part B, we try to sort it out. So read. We sort part B now. Now question 1B is on single stage decision making. Single stage decision making. And the question is asking us to compute or to advise on the amount of money that should be paid. So I've just said a while ago here that the maximum amount to pay, is what we call value of information. Is what we call value of information. So how do you get value of information? Value of information is the expected monetary value with information. Expected monetary value with information minus best expected monetary value without information. Best expected monetary value without information. That is how you go about it. So that being the case, let's start with information. With information. Expected monetary value is equal to, expected monetary value equals to, so what you do, you go to each outcome and pick the best payoff. So if you want a strong, if you follow strong outcome, the best payoff is 1200. The best payoff is 1200. And the probability of a strong reaction is 0.3. Is 0.3. Plus, if you follow normal, if you follow normal reaction, the best is 1200. And the probability of a normal reaction is 20%. And then, if you follow weak, the best is 1600. And the probability is 0.5. So give me that. Give me that figure. Aika, you are saying you're not able to see clearly. Okay. Let me change the pen. 1,400. Hope that is now clear. We are picking the best. Then, without information, without information. So without information, we will have the option here, and then the EMV. And then the EMV. So let's have option X. Option X. If you follow X and it becomes strong, you will have 400 times 0.3. If it is normal, it will be 600 multiplied by 0.2. And if it will be weak, it will be 1,000 multiplied by 0.5. Aika, are you able now to see that? Okay. Come. So give me the answer there for X. 740. We go to Y. If what Y, it is 800 with 0.3 plus 1200 with 0.2 plus 1600 with 0.5. Yes, 1280. If what I said, it will be 1200, 0.3, 800, 0.2, 1,000, 0.5. $10, $20. So the best there, this is the best. That is the best because it's the highest. So the value of information or the max amount to pay, the maximum amount to pay, which we are saying is value of information. Value of information, it will be 1,400 minus 1,280. Yeah, good. 120. $120 is the amount that should be paid. I now seek to proceed to question number 2. 2B. Jabo Limited is a multi-product firm. The company intends to launch a new product branded ZP in the coming months. Production will be in batches of 1,000 units throughout the life of the product. It is expected to achieve a 90% running curve, but the running would cease after the 64th batch. Other relevant data of product Z is as follows: expected life in production, selling price per unit, direct material costs, total direct labor costs, variable overhead cost per unit, total specific fixed costs, running curve index. Now, you are required to get the expected profit to be earned from the product over its lifetime. So question 2. Now, in dealing with that question, you will need to begin by saying, using running curves. Running curves, total approach. Using running curves, total approach, you will say y is equals to ax raised to power b plus 1. Y is equals to ax raised to power b plus 1. Then you start looking for these items. And the first to look for is b. Now b, we know so well, is given as the log of r. You divide by the log of 2. So the question has mentioned to us that r is 0.9, which when divided by the log of 2, the question is also kind enough to have given us the answer as minus 0.152, which you can confirm. Then, from there now you say b plus 1 is minus 0.152 plus 1, which I think should be 0.848. The next thing is x. We are told in this question, the units are in terms of batches. And a batch has 1,000 units. So x will be 256. Then A, the time or the productivity measure required for the first one is shillings 52,500. 52,500. Now that wanafunzi hawajakuja atalipwa. Okay, so with that now, we start looking for y. Y for the 256. But when you begin to look for this one, you notice that this running is going to stop at 64. So that means it's a case of interval. So then we will say it will be y for the first 64 plus y for the next 256 minus 64. That is how we shall get the total time. The y for the first 64 and the y for the others. So how then do we get the 64? Y for the 64 should be y for the first 64 minus y for the first 63 minus y for the first 63 y for the first 63. So this proceeds to become 52,500 times 64 raised to power 0.848 minus 52,500 multiplied by 63 raised to power 0.848. So if you take 64 raised to power 0.848 multiplied by 52,500, this becomes 1,785,664.733. Then if you say 63 raised by 0.848 multiplied by 52,500, you get 1,761,976.409. So it is 23,688.32. So with that now, y for the 256 should be 1,785,664.733 plus 23,688.32 multiplied by 256 minus 64. 256 minus 64. And I'm getting something to do with 6,333,822.963. So if we are together up to that point, type yes. And if there is anything you have not followed, you can ask. Are we together? You're not speaking, so I just proceed. So the next thing is to come up with the income statement. the life cycle income statement for 256,000 units. The life cycle income statement for the 256,000 units. So we begin with revenue. So revenue will be 256,000. You multiply by the selling price per unit, which is 123. So 123 times 256,000 is giving me that 1,488,000. 488,000. Then you less materials cost. Material, you can see it is also given per unit. So you need to say 256,000 times 36. So it is 256,000 times 36, which is 9,216,000. Then we have labor costs. Labor, that one is already worked out here as 6,333,822.963. We are given variable overheads. Variable overheads. They are also given on a per unit basis. So it will be 256,000 times 24. So 256,000 times 24 is 6,144,000. Then there is what they are calling specific fixed costs. Specific fixed costs of 3,875,000. 875,000. So with that, we should be able to arrive at the net profit. To arrive at the net profit. At the net profit being plus 3,875,000 plus 6,333,822.963 plus 9,216,000 minus 3,148,000. We record 5,911,177.037. So that is the profits. So then we are told it has now been established that the running effect will continue for all the 256. The running curve required to achieve that profit of 10 million. So you proceed and say, for a net profit of shillings 10 million to be achieved labor costs should be or should reduce to you take this current labor cost 6,333,822.963 minus 10 million minus this current profit 5,919,177.037. So labor should reduce to that. If you want to make a profit of 10 million, then labor must go down. So labor must now be equal to 2,253,000. If you want to report a profit of 10 million, then your labor cost, because what will happen is that for this profit to increase 10 million by this gap, then labor must give way by that gap. Labor must give way by that gap. So, what does that mean? So now, 2,253, or if I start the other way around, it means that if I get 52,500 multiplied by 256, B plus 1, I should get that. That's what I should get. So this proceeds to become 256 raised power B plus 1 is 2,253,000. You divide by 52,500. You divide by 52,500. So b plus 1 logarithm of 256 is the same as the logarithm of 2253,000. You divide by 52,500. That way. So proceeding, you say b plus 1 is the logarithm of 2253,000. You divide by 52,500. Then the whole of this, you divide by logarithm of 256. So this proceeds to become, if you divide this by 52,500, then log of the answer, divide by the log of 256. I am getting 0.6779, so I minus 1. And when I minus 1, I'm left with minus 0.3221. That is the value of B. That is the value of B. So that being true, we proceed and say B is equal to the log of R, you divide by the log of 2. So if you want R, which is the one that we are looking for, to then be 2 log of 2. B log of 2. So if you want R, it will then be the antilog of B log of 2. You get the antilogarithm of the inverse. So this will be the antilog of minus 0.3221 log of 2. Log of 2. If I multiply this by the log of 2, then shift log of the answer 0.7999. This is 0.8, which is 80%. We are okay at that point. Sema okay, so that I go to the next question. If not, you raise your concern. Yeah, we are okay. So if we are okay, let's quickly, within a few minutes remaining, turn to the next question, number 3. 3C. And 3C is on flexible budgets. So for the interest of time, we will just go straight. Question 3C, it doesn't have much to read. There are many columns. But we shall create the columns or divide them as we fill in. So this one is called budgetary control statements. Budgetary control statements. Budgetary control statements. And in the budgetary control statements, the first column is called details, where we have units, closely followed by percentage. Units followed by percentage. Then after percentage, we have sales. Then you say less variable costs. Variable costs. Variable costs we have ya kwanza ni materials. Materials. The next one is labor. The next one is overheads. We have overheads. The next one is selling. The next one is selling. The next one is administration. You could bring the contribution or we just go straight where we say fixed costs now. Fixed costs. Fixed cost ya kwanza tuko nayo ni labor. Ikiwa imefuatwa na selling. Ikiwa imefuatwa na administration. Administration, and that will give us the net profit. That will give us the net profit. That will give us the net profits. That will give us the net profits. So once umepanga hizo vitu just exactly the way they are given, you give us the original budget, and the original budget is the one we call the fixed budget. Original budget is the fixed budget. So hiyo haina mambo mingi, you just draw the line where those words have reached. Fixed budget. So fixed budget, you just copy the figures as they are. You just copy the figures as they are. The units, our statement, the figures are in thousands. So the units are 640. And I told you for the original budget, you assign it 100%. You assign it 100%. Then we go to sales, which we are told they are 1024. Material is 168. Labor is 240. Variable overheads, 32. Selling is 144. Administration is 48. Then for the fixed costs, labor is 100. Selling is 72. And administration is 184. And the net profit is 36. So that one you just copy as it is given. The next one is actual results. Actual results. So actual results, hata hiyo haina mambo mingi. You just draw the line where those words have ended. And the actual results, the units are 720. The units are 720. So what we need to do is next, same as these 720 divided by 640. Multiply by 100%. We get to know what percent that will be. We get to know what is the actual percent. So I'm saying it is 720. You divide by 640 times 100. Send me that answer. Ndio tujue the actual got what percent. Yes, 112.5%. 112.5%. 112. So then from there, you start recording. Sales 1071. Huyo mwingine 144. Then 288. Then 36. Selling variable is 153. Administration variable is 54. For the fixed, labor is 94. Selling is 83. And administration is 176. 176. So tunaendelea kubakisha two more columns. So huyu anaitwa flexible budget. So flexible ndio inakuaga na workings kidogo. So ndio nijue inafika wapi exactly. I told you what to do. The revenue and the variable cost are multiplied by the new percent. You multiply them by the new percent. So utakuwa unasema hapa 1024 multiplied by 1.125. So 1024 multiplied by 1.125. Get 1152. We need to have variances here. And these variances, we will have the fixed less actual. That is how the first ones will be arrived at. Zitakuwa na workings mingi. Then hii ingine itakuwa flexible less actual. So that will be the end of the table. That will be the end of the table. There are two types of variances. So with that now, the units of the flexible are the units of the actual. The units of the actual are the units of the flexible. And the percent is the same. That is actually the one we are using to multiply. So for material, I would then say 168 times 1.125. Then we will say 240 times 1.125. We will say that 2 times 1.125. This is 144 times 1.125. This is 48 times 1.125. But the fixed cost, they remain as they are in the original. They remain, they don't change. So 48 times 1.125 is 54. 144 times 1.125 is 162. That 2 times 1.125 is 96. 240 times 1.125 is 270. 168 times 1.125 is 189. So if I say 1152 minus the answer minus 270 minus 36 minus 162 minus 54 minus 100 minus 72 minus 184. So the profit here is 85. And the profit here for the actual, you should have had 43. That's the way it's computed there. So if we are okay, we start now getting the variances. The first category in a SEMA, you get the fixed, you minus the actual. So it will be 1024 minus 1071. That gives us a variance of 47, a variance of 47, and it is favorable. It is favorable because the actual sales are more. Favorable. Then 168 minus 144 is 24. And that variance is favorable because the actual is less. The actual is less. So that is favorable. Then 240 minus 288 is 48. And that variance is adverse. Is adverse because the actual is higher. It is adverse because the actual is higher. That 2 minus that 6 is 4. That variance is adverse because the actual is higher. Then 144 minus 153 is 9. And that one is also adverse because the actual is higher. 48 minus 54 is 6. And the variance is also adverse because the actual is a higher cost. This 100 minus 94 is 6, which is favorable because the actual is smaller. And then 72 minus 83 is 11, which is adverse because the actual is higher. 184 minus 176 is 8. And that one is favorable because it is the actual is smaller. Then that 6 minus 43 is 7. Is 7. And this 7 is favorable because the actual is higher. The actual is higher. That's how you get it. Higher. Whether the flexible less actual. That is now what the question is calling, to provide a more realistic approach. So for the flexible, I will say 1152 minus 1071. I have 81. And this one is adverse. It's adverse because the actual was smaller. Is adverse. Then 144 minus 189, I have 44. No, 45. And that one is favorable because the actual cost is smaller than the budget. Next is 288 minus 270. I get 18. Now that is adverse because the actual cost is higher than the budget cost. Next, there is no variance. 36 is 0. 53 minus 62 is 9. So that one is favorable because the actual is smaller. The actual is smaller. This one, there is no variance. No variance there. For the fixed, this is 6 again, and favorable because the actual is smaller. This is 11 and also adverse. This is 8 and it's favorable. Then the profit, the difference is 43 minus 85. We have 42, and this is adverse because the profit is smaller. So that is all that we could have said for now and for this semester. So we take this opportunity to thank you so much and to wish you great success in the exams that you'll be sitting for sometimes next week. We have the faith and confidence that we have prepared you well. And we also believe that on your end, you have also been doing what is required. So don't go to the exam fearing. If you fear, you have lost already. So go believing that you have passed. You are only going to confirm to them that already this thing you know. And for the few days that are remaining, don't stress yourself so much with what you're not understanding. If there are some topics that have been giving you issues, it is now time to let them go and focus more on the ones that you have been understanding. You cannot know everything. It is only God who knows everything. CASNEB expects you to know just 50% and you'll be declared to have passed. So don't take a lot of your energy worrying and trying to work on something that is not getting through. Focus and divert that energy to what is getting through and what you are understanding. Manage your time well in the exam. When you see some questions that could be cheaper, make sure you manage your time well. Don't overstay there. And for the questions that are simple, I've been telling you before you start recording it, take time and look whether there is something they have hidden. The simple, the obvious, the most common questions huwa wanaficha kakitu kadogo tu so that the candidate may be confused. So I think on my own behalf and that of my family and the entire fraternity of Destiny Technical School, we want to say thank you for being our students, and we want to wish you all the best and to encourage you to market us wherever you can. And also, when you get to my channel, please like it and subscribe, and I'll be grateful. So I hope to see you next week, part 1 in our section 6, so that we can finish up this thing together. Thank you so much. God bless you.